What advice would you give youth as they struggle with survivor's guilt? Or when they're
That
given
is a
opportunities that others don't have?
that is a great question. And I struggled with this a lot, going to both boarding school and then going to college, a 4-year college. I remember I'd come back and either hang out with my friends from middle school or see them when we'd visit 244 together. And a lot of, I was really guilty for a long time. I think a lot of, whenever I speak to students, what I say is, one, you are an inspiration. And I think it's really easy to forget that, especially with the day-to-day of being a student, being in college, and having all the weight on your shoulders of, you are the difference maker for your family and for your community. It's hard to sometimes realize, like, you're an inspiration. This is a gift. And just because it was given to you doesn't mean it stops there. And I think that's what really pushed me forward through my survivor's guilt, is the idea that there's no reason to be guilty because I can go back and do that for someone else. I can be that inspirational force. I can be that blueprint for another student. And that's kind of what helps me. And that's what, myself and a lot of other students at 244 do. We go back and we do panels and we do programs where students can sit with us, and we'll edit their high school essays, and we'll talk to them about what college is like, and we'll tell them, like, we have these programs, these free programs, wink wink, where you can visit colleges and visit high schools for a weekend and see what life is outside of the Bronx. And so that has been a really big part of dealing with my survivor's guilt, and knowing that I can be a change maker for my community.
Okay, can you elaborate on what the panels are like when you go back and speak at the school?
I would love to. And we're actually going to do a virtual one. Pray for us. We're actually going to do a virtual one coming up this year. So we'll see how that goes with tons of middle school students on Zoom. But so how they usually go is it's a whole bunch of students from different fields. And so another student who helps me coordinate the whole thing, she's pre-med, and so she's on a track towards her residency. And we have another student who does professional basketball at his school up in Virginia, and we have another student who is on pre-law track. And so we have students literally who've graduated from MS-244 who have all these different tracks. And we come together, we have one big panel where we answer their questions. Really, it's driven by them. They have tons of questions about, on the one hand, what we were like in middle school, because I guess to them it feels so far away, what we were like back then, and then like how we got to where we were, and we kind of sit with them and we tell them about that, and then we break out into groups, right? So like students who are interested in professional sports will go with Jordan, and they'll talk to him about what that means, and how to stand out in high school, and all of these things. And then everyone kind of breaks up into different groups that way. And then we also have different college and career readiness workshops. And so that's new this year, the workshops, where we're going to be working with students on building their brands, what it means to build their brands, and working with students in terms of networking and what does that mean. And so like really early signs of helping students realize that they're working towards something greater, and they're working towards being, at one point in their lives, professionals, and towards that college aspect, and knowing that they have the resources to do so, that they're not just being thrown into the wolves, which is sometimes what I felt, being one of the first in my family and in my community to do that.